is investing $8 million to connect small businesses to operating capital. The Small Business Capital Access Program will lower the cost of Washington State Small Business Flex Fund loans by paying down 25% of the loan principal. Eligible small businesses can borrow up to $150,000 with a 4% interest rate to cover payroll, rent, utilities, and supplies.
1, 2, get down!
What's up, big and little homies? This is Masvita Maricres, host of Seattle Sports Weekly on Rainier Avenue Radio World, your one-stop shop for Seattle sports. We cover preps, we cover college, we cover pro, we cover it all. Huskies, Mariners, Seahawks, Garfield, South, Roosevelt, Petro, King County. This is where you want to listen to for all the sports that's happening in Seattle. Seattle Sports Weekly on Rainier Avenue Radio World.
See a bad mother.
Yo, what's good? It's D-Money, and you should definitely check out Fresh Juice every Wednesday, 9 to 11 Pacific, right on Rainier Avenue Radio.
With pint-sized Patron, P-Treasy to Don. Y'all be sure to clean your mirrors as we play brand new hip-hop and R&B from locals and worldwide.
Which ID yourself, aka Malcolm Flex. Make sure you check out Fresh Juice every Wednesday, Pacific Standard Time from 9 to 11 p.m.
And to get those exclusive interviews that we be doing.
Sipping a brand new fresh juice every single week.
Every Wednesday, 9 to 11, Rainier Avenue Radio.
Yeah.
Northwest Film Forum's Collective Power Fund is now open for grant applications. Grants are starting at $2,000 up to $10,000 for individual or artist collectives. The annual grant cycle focuses primarily on supporting art that incites public dialogue, pushes boundaries, explores genre fluidity, speaks its truth through an authentic perspective, and is often non-traditional, anti-institutional, socially responsible, or disruptive of any existing structures and conventions. Learn more and apply at collectivepowernw.org.
You're listening to Rainier Avenue Radio.world. Check us out on social media. Facebook and Instagram, Rainier Avenue Radio.world, and on Twitter at Rainier Ave Radio.
Welcome to Real Estate and Money, a half-hour program on Rainier Avenue Radio.world designed to help you whether you're a buyer, seller, investor, or renter in real estate. Your hosts are two local professionals who will escort you on your journey. Violeta Strash, who has years of media advertising and marketing experience and brings this extensive knowledge to John L. Scott Real Estate and all our clients. And Tina Lombard, who is a mortgage loan originator with Guaranteed Rate Affinity, with over 28 years of experience. And now here's Violeta and Tina.
Hello, everyone. Where's Tina? Tina, are you able to get her on, Daniel?
Hi, it's such an honor to be here, everyone.
Yes, hello. Hi, can you see me?
Yes.
Hi, everybody.
Oh, no, that's better.
Great. Nice to see everyone.
Wow, I love
that. So we are doing our final Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month recognition. And with us today, Tina, go ahead.
Yes. Okay. Well, you go ahead you go ahead and introduce some visas there. And yeah.
All right. So here we have our retired Brigadier General Oscar Hilman, and did you see the wave?
Yes,
presidential wave. And here is Maricres Castro, Miss Washington, amongst all the other things. And she's just got new jobs. He's got a new position he's doing, and everybody's working hard, especially this gal.
Yeah, and he's a mentor, so it's great.
So, Maricres, let's start with you first. Tell us a little about yourself.
Oh, yeah, what you just briefly mentioned earlier is that my mentor here recommended that I apply for the vacant commissioner position on the Tacoma City Commission on Immigrants and Refugees. And 2 weeks ago, Tuesday, I was appointed. And currently, I serve as the only Filipino on the commission for the entirety of Tacoma's Commission on Immigrants and Refugees.
Yay! So, congratulations! Way to represent!
Yeah, thank you to my mentor for, recommending me for the opportunity. A lot of these opportunities, I don't really know that they're happening and that there are such great ways for us to serve and to strengthen the relationship between our city government and what our communities need. And so I'm excited for this year.
And where else are you working?
So I am based in Tacoma at Asia Pacific Cultural Center, 4851 South Tacoma Way. And we have monthly events featuring our Asian American, Native Hawaiian, Pacific Islander heritage. So on June 4th, we have Sawasdi, Thailand. That's happening, a Thai fashion show featuring how to make Thai coffee, if you love Thai coffee.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yes.
June 25th, we have a Filipino fashion show that's happening here in Washington State. Oh my goodness, coming up in July, we have a week-long Samoa event.
Whoa.
So America Samoa event. And in August 27th, our big luau fundraiser. So come on down, Asia Pacific Cultural Center. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Amazing.
Yeah, a lot of things happening, and a lot of intergenerational leadership and community outreach happening for small businesses, especially for our Filipino American community. So, yeah.
Wow. Congratulations. What an honor it is to have you on our show. You are out there making waves, doing things, representing. Okay. Hey, Oscar, tell us who you are. Mr. Wonderful.
Yes. Yeah.
He's too humble.
I know everyone in this restaurant.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, let me just give them a little plug. We're at Paraiso Restaurant on Lakewood, South Tacoma Way. And this is one of Oscar's hangouts.
Yep.
He's place, and this is like Oscar's Cheers.
Yep.
Everybody knows who he is.
Everybody knows his name.
Yes. So let's tell our audience who you are.
Well, I'm one of the stockholder of Paraiso. I want to make sure our business go in the right direction. But seriously, my heart is still with the Asian American, Pacific Islander, and Filipino American.
Yep.
So I'm behind the scene, looking out for future leaders and looking at opportunities for us Filipinos.
Yes. Well, we're laughing at here. The reason why me and V were talking about this and how can we get some people who are representing our community that are still moving and shaking and making things happen. Of course, Oscar, your name is always top on the list. Number 1 and 2 on our list.
That's right.
Always. Because, not only have you served our country in such an amazing way through the military, you have your finger on the pulse of the community, both in South Puget Sound and North Puget Sound. So thank you for being on our show. And Maricres, we're so proud of you. And when the two of you were together and V mentioned your names, I was like, what? Wow, that's quite a lineup. But,
yeah,
a lot. Learning a lot. To Oscar and our leaders and learning a lot.
Thank you,
Oh
Tina.
my gosh. Well, it's because it's Asian Heritage Month, and we really want to give our viewers a flavor of the contributions of the Asian community and what we're still doing to make things happen and making it a positive community for everybody around us. So just really briefly, Oscar, Maricres, can you tell us exactly what, in your heart, what has the Asian community done in the Washington area to really give off a positive influence?
Any contributions from the Filipinos here?
Absolutely. Not many people know this, but the labor rights movement was started by a Filipino, Larry Itliong. So a lot of people don't know that the grape strikes, we worked hand in hand with our Chicano brothers and sisters, our Latino brothers and sisters, to fight for equality, for farm worker labor rights. And it's because of our ability to mobilize and demand what we knew to be right for our communities that we have the labor rights that we have today in America. So we can't say that Filipinos have contributed when we have been here since the beginning, even before America was a country. The first Filipinos came over on the Spanish ships as servants and were the first Asians to step foot on North American soil. And so,
Right.
Even I didn't know that.
yeah, so that's why in Morro Bay, California, there's a giant rock there that commemorates the landing of the first Filipinos.
It's our Plymouth Rock.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Before even the European settlers came, the Spanish came, and they brought us because we were owned by Spain. And yeah, and, you know, the Manila boys, they're known for jumping ship along the way. That's why you see so many Filipinos in
Some things never die.
So we've been here, we've contributed a lot. And even the Smithsonian contributes a lot of our cooking style to gumbo, because if you go to a lot of countries in Africa, putting fish in soup is not a common thing, but it's very common for us.
Right.
And so it's the fusion of cultures. And the last little bit I want to just talk about is the word boondock. Boondock in New York, right? That's actually a Filipino word for bundok.
Oh,
yeah.
Really?
It is.
Tell us about that, Mary Chris.
Adopted that word and made it American and didn't even give us credit. So hey, so that's history. But
what does it mean? What does it mean? Mary Chris, what does it mean? What does bundok
mean? Tagalog means like very far off area.
Bundok.
You know, I'm from the dito po sa bundok, you know, like very far. And like, you know, in New York, you're like, oh, I'm from the boondocks, you know, like you're talking about being like kind of like on the edge, you know, like kind of like that. There's a lot of words that, you know, like that we've contributed to, and that's the one I want to highlight because I just came out
today.
Interesting. Wow.
What's your word of the day, Oscar?
Well, this month is Asian American Pacific Islander.
Mm-hmm.
Can you hear me?
Yes. This month.
You know, not many states have Asian American Pacific Cultural Center like one we have in Tacoma, and we have 47 Asian countries participate with that, and I'm honored to be in their advisory board, and they celebrate every culture that belong to that 47 countries. Mary Chris already mentioned we have Samoan, we'll have Korean, you know, we'll have Filipino, we have Romanian, the Chamorro. So you don't see that in many states that we celebrate every race and every culture that belong to Asian continent. You know, so it's very impressive. You know, with the founder Patsy O'Connell founded that in lieu of Pritchard, and it's still sustaining today. And we're gonna have a building. We're working on our building, so we're very excited to have our building.
So where's the building? Donate to help us
The same place?
building.
Remodeling, make it bigger?
Yeah, because 47 countries represented. You know, we have performances. We have people who use our space to practice, to gather. We need more space, honestly. So, help us take up space.
Maybe Tina, you'll show up with the Filipino American History Month.
Yes, in October.
October, Tina.
Okay. Yeah, I think I remember. I think when the Center for Star, you remember I sing the national anthem a couple of times, Oscar?
Yes.
I hosted some of the events there. I remember when I first got it started years ago. Yeah. Good memories. I'm trying to look for a picture for it while you're thinking about it. But hey, really quick, before we go to break, Oscar, tell us about Asian contribution in the military, the U.S. military.
Ooh, there you go.
Well, you know, in the I'm familiar with the United States Army.
Yes.
And there's five of us now, Filipino general officers in the Army. We have Lieutenant General Soriano first, Major General Tony Taguba, yours truly, Eldon Rigwa from California, and now we have another 3-star, Antonio Aguto. He's born and raised in Chicago and West Point graduate. He's now the First Army North Commander, and he's doing a lot of great things. He was a very short time here in JBLM at Fort Lewis, but they ship him to lead the forces in Afghanistan. Of course, he's back. So that's in the military. Oh, also we have a lot of Navy Filipino American officers. But last Wednesday, we have been working for almost a year now we have a Filipino U.S. Navy back in the 1915 who received a Medal of Honor. The only Filipino who received Medal of Honor. And the Secretary of the Navy is going to name a destroyer, a brand new destroyer after him. It will be USS Trinidad Tobago. That's from the Navy.
Wow, that's amazing. And, when is that going to be, Oscar?
When?
They're going to build the ship.
Oh yeah.
The first ship that come out of Navy Yard will be named after U.S. Trinidad de los Poro.
Yeah, that's amazing. And Oscar is really humble because he didn't even talk about his contributions during his service. And if you Google his name, you'll find an amazing article about how he led, our U.S. troops in Iraq, during bombs being fired at them. And he kept the community civilians who were there in their care, the overseas foreign workers that we all know enough to be safe. He even created a karaoke area where they could build community, even while bombs were being fired. Story. He's very Filipino. He knew how to keep people calm. When you're calm and you feel like you can still express yourself, that you have a reason to fight, that you have a reason for community, and being Filipino, I look up to him a lot because he was able to operate under that kind of pressure in the Middle East, and as a contribution to America today, we have him as a shining example, not only as a Filipino American who used his culture and everything to contribute to fighting for freedom, but also as a shining example of what it means,
Tina,
to be American.
Maricres also interviewed me.
I know, I did. So I know his story. He's been very humble. He's very
You meet 10 years ago.
Okay, so we're gonna go to. Yep. Okay.
You're too humble to Oscar. You should talk about your experiences.
We should talk about. Where's Daniel?
Thursday afternoon from 2:30 to 3 here on Rainier Avenue Radio.world. Join your hosts Violeta Strash with John L. Scott Kent North and Tina Lombard with Guaranteed Rate Affinity. They'll help you navigate the waters of our volatile real estate market and offer you some guidance on how to make your hard-earned money work to make your dreams come true. Learn about current trends, get tips on financial matters, and have fun, interactive discussions about your home inside and out. That's real estate and money.
Oh, come on.
Just a little.
Yeah.
So we're.
Oh,
yeah. So okay. So now, let's talk about. So let's talk about housing really quick. I know, Oscar, you've been through several generations.
I want to talk about what else Oscar has been involved with in the last couple of years.
Come on now, yes, let's do that.
Yeah, professional medal recipients.
Not many people know this. I replaced General Taguba as the chairman of Minority Veterans Affairs. And we already had a bill working, and we created a bill which is give the compensation for Filipino veterans. And that amount was the $15,000 if you're a Filipino veteran that live in America, and $9,000 if you live in the Philippines.
Wow.
So, of course, all along he followed me till a lot of brilliant Filipinos created the Filipino Veterans Project, which is the Congressional Gold Medal. And a the bill will not come without everybody's work, lobbying Congress, making all the phone calls, and so forth. Fast forward, it was approved, and now we have to distribute 260,000 congressional gold medals. That's Filipino and Filipino American that entitled to it in World War II. So I chair the Region 8, which is Alaska, Idaho, Oregon, in Washington, that part. To date, we have presented 450 congressional gold medals. One more will be on June 6th, and one will be on June 11th. And the guidance from General Taguba is we will never turn down any Filipino and American veterans that include the congressional gold medal. So our work never stops.
Yay!
The next thing what I hear is part of the bill is if you go to PhilVets, you'll see website that duty to honor. The duty honor is a educational project, and a lot of smart teachers and professors put that together. So if you're in the classroom, if you want to know about Bataan Death March, just Google that and you'll bring you. The educational book, I call it book, is stored by Smithsonian. So any place, any time that you want to know about the 4 parts history of the Philippines, one before the war, second the war, third the post-war, and then the new generations like Maricres, the millennials. Very exciting. It's very exciting. Really, a lot of work put together by our educators. That's all I have.
Oh, no, that's all you have. That's awesome. That is so beautiful. Yeah. We can do a whole 2 or 3 shows with the 2 guests.
Oh, I know. I'm sure.
At least.
Daniel, we've asked for more time. Okay.
So, my goodness. So, anyways, yeah. So we're so since our show is concentrating more on real estate, I want you to mention, what is your experience coming up, Oscar, really, really quick, and then versus Maricres, what is your experience now? But in the 60s and the 50s, Filipinos weren't able to purchase homes in Washington State. But can you tell us how your experience is, Oscar, how that has improved and how it's important for us to obtain the American dream and to fight for a home no matter what? Can you talk about that a little bit?
Okay.
Oh, okay. So yeah, unfortunately, with inflation, with everything crazy going on in the world, it is important to be a homeowner because paying a monthly mortgage is cheaper than rent. Honestly, it's cheaper than rent, especially in Seattle, in Tacoma. Rent is getting crazy. Like, in a good neighborhood, rent can be upwards of $3,000 a month.
That's right.
Where a mortgage can be like, $800 something dollars a month, something very low. And it's lower than that.
No, it's probably about 1,500.
Okay, yeah. So,
a bit higher, but
so
yeah.
It's important to educate our community on how in the long run this is a great way for creating generational wealth for our communities, because we coming here to America as immigrants are, whether we're first, second, third, fourth generation Americans, wealth compounds over time, and having a home and that kind of stability for your family is it's important. It's important, especially when thinking about inflation, unfortunately.
Something, because Asians are the fastest growing homeowner demographic in the U.S. A lot of people think it's Hispanic. It's actually Asians. And we, for whatever reason, are just tearing it up. We're just eating it up like crazy. And I know years ago, we weren't allowed to participate in the wealth. A lot of the wealth that was made in America has to do with buying property, buying real estate, and it appreciating over time, and you handing that real estate down to your loved ones. But Filipinos actually just recently, 50 years, were able to buy a house actually in Washington State. So, Oscar, are you familiar with that? Or do you remember during the 60s and 70s where Larry Gossett and everybody else led the force and getting equal opportunity and making sure that we were all able to buy houses in Washington
In the
State.
60s and 70s, do you recall housing situations back then? And what do you think of
Well,
multi-generational?
I'm not that old, but I remember.
When you were a baby,
When you were a baby,
the best thing to do during the 70s and 80s, and even now, is to buy a home.
Yeah.
That's an investment. That's a tax write-off, and there's really no disadvantages not to buy a home. But Tina, let me add something that a group of Filipino soldiers created a website or Facebook they call Pinoy Soldier USA. When I first joined, there were only 50 of us. Now we're 5,000. And the good thing I learned about that is, I'll give you an example of what I read this morning. And it said, "Hey, bro, I'm a soldier stationed in Korea. I'll be coming to JBLM. Do you know any real estate people? Or I'm going to Fort Carson. Do you know anybody in the Denver area? Or I'm going to..." So, that internet is really powerful now, that they're referring each other to this big group of Filipino soldiers,
And did you say yes? Do you know
Yeah,
somebody?
that's what I did. Yeah, that's what I said, Violeta, give me your business card.
Yeah. Well, yeah, tell them too. I mean, that's beautiful. I did a lot of loans for people in Kuwait, people who were in Afghanistan, people who were in Korea. A lot of soldiers are abroad and their spouses are either in Washington State at GBLM or McCord Air Force Base or even here in Denver. But have them call me. We've done power of attorney over the overseas. As long as we have a alive and well statement from the military, from their captain, so we can do that. So encourage them. But the military, they see the value of buying houses, and they're using their VA benefits. So that's awesome. Yeah,
And you're right. That's why they have the VA loans available for active retired military. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So that the vets can actually be in Korea, and their spouses here actually can do the loan, live in the house. So
In you and Violeta came from a military family.
Oh yeah. I'm Air Force brat. Air Force brat. I have yes. Yes, I am.
Yeah.
But how many more minutes do we have? But just really quickly before we leave, can you say a quick goodbye and encouragement to our viewers, both Maricres and Oscar?
What was that again? It's hard to hear.
Because we only have a few moments left, but could you say a real quick goodbye and something motivational to our listeners for the month?
I'll say something motivational to our listeners and a goodbye.
Well, it's a tough time in the economy in the United States, and we have a year like this when I was on active duty. So, when people have to prioritize, car insurance, home insurance, and their income, and the prices are all going up. Budget yourself, talk to your spouse, and work the numbers, because this will eventually go away slowly. But we have to work together. We have to work together and live within our means.
Thank you, Oscar.
Yes. Yeah. I really just want to, bounce off of that idea. Living within our means is so important. My dad used to always say, live simply so others might simply live.
Yeah.
Nice. And really
nice. Yeah.
Thinking about what our extra or our excess could really mean to impact somebody else. Whether that be a charity you have in mind. I'm going to throw this again out there, but Asia Pacific Cultural Center is fundraising for a new building. Like, think about that $5, how that could impact building a new space for all of us to gather. Wow.
There you go.
That would not just be for our generation, but every generation after us will have a space to gather because of you. And that kind of long-term thinking with infrastructure is so important for our communities. And I just want to say thank you so much for this opportunity. And as we all continue to like get our things together, you know, as we focus on taking care of ourselves, we're also in a way taking care of our community too. So don't feel guilty. As one of us rises, we all rise together. So
and as we say goodbye, because we're out of time, Daniel, take a look at this food right here.
Oh yeah.
Can you see?
Yeah.
This see that?
Yes. Oh, yes.
Oh my God. All the good food.
Yeah. So thank you, Paraiso, for for having us here. And
this is me. I don't know if you can see this. This is me singing at the one of the first Asia Pacific Islanders events.
I love it.
That was like I think. Yeah.
I love it. I love
very
it.
good.
Thank you
do
so
a
much for
celebration
having us.
soon. Thank you, everyone.
Have a good one. Happy Asia Pacific Islander Heritage Month. Thank you.
Good job.
Thank you.
Lombard.
Yeah,
that
was great.
Good job. 490. That's 206-717-4490. Go to the Rainier Avenue Radio.world website to find the real estate and money schedule, or tune into our live show every Tuesday afternoon from 2:30 to 3. We will help you find your dream home.